EDM, also known as electronic dance music, is void of feeling. It's not entirely true. Electronic dance music is inherently designed to give the listener a sort of euphoric feeling, oftentimes in the form of snares smashing every 16th or 32nd beat, leading up to a simple kick drum with lush chords chained to it to give the listener some sense of resolution to the build that they just experienced. It is this intense payoff that EDM is known for, rather infamously. In 2012, Anton Zaslavsky, an artist with the stage name Zed, thrust EDM into the mainstream world with his breakout hit, Clarity. Before, it was typical for EDM to be heard at a club in the background, but never in someone's headsets. With Clarity, Zed showed audiences that songwriting techniques and meaningful chord progressions could be used in this niche genre. Artists would hire an EDM producer to take one of the artist's songs and transform it into an EDM pop hit. It saturated mainstream radio for years. Artists such as Skrillex, Diplo, Avicii, and Porter Robinson dominated the charts with their take on EDM. After a while, EDM began to run its course. People started accusing it of being formulaic, with there always being tension and release. It became so formulaic that certain names were created for different aspects of that genre. Names such as the build, the drop, and the riser were popularized in that era. People were sick of EDM, and so was Robinson. Porter Robinson had been making EDM for a couple of years before Clarity had been released. All of his music was in the basic EDM style. However, once Clarity came out, Robinson decided to embrace that new form of EDM, the one that allowed audiences to become more emotionally invested in the genre. He added more meaningful lyrics and avoided the cliché snare build in favor of more creative ways to build tension and release. It's no coincidence that he was a co-writer on Clarity. Once the EDM scene oversaturated music, Robinson was one of the first artists to jump ship, trying to expand his ideas on what EDM could be rather than what it was. And by not abiding by any EDM standard, he released Worlds, a genre-defying album. Let's look at one of the songs on the track list, Fellow Feeling. This was originally my least favorite song on the album. Parts of it were disorienting, noisy, and I considered it to be unlistenable, dreading whenever I got to it on the album. The song starts off with lavish violins and melancholy chords, rarely seen in EDM at the time, and if an artist did use them, it was in the midst of distorted synths and heavy bass lines. Never had an artist focused solely on orchestral instruments before. A subtle kick drum and synths gave the atmospheric violins some movement. A girl's voice fades from the background into the foreground. She speaks to someone that she has always known. As she speaks, the lower frequencies reduce as the strings rise, playing higher and higher frequencies as the song progresses. The instrumental quickly fades away to her saying,
"Now please, hear what I hear."
The following is some of the most grotesque EDM that has ever been widely released. Ugly, distorted, emotionless drums plague the track with an undanceable beat, as Robinson puts it.
Trying to shoehorn it into a dance was really just limiting in terms of expression.
I wanted it to be a very pretty thing. It turned into this very hateful, violent, ugly thing. I wanted people to feel what I felt when it came to aggressive electronic beats.
Eventually, the beat stops. The girl speaks.
Let me explain. This ugliness, this cruelty, this repulsiveness, it will all die out. And now I cry for all that is beautiful.
And the strings start up again, signifying her longing for notes and harmonies, not cliched beats. Towards the end of the song, Robinson gives the same sort of build to the piece, but this time, it's as if the synth chords are breaking out of the track, as if they're not supposed to be there. Yet there is such a strong desire from this girl to become beautiful. The garbage and the gimmicks are all at once stripped away, leaving the audience with the roots of music, combined with the instruments of EDM. This is the structure of all the tracks on the album. There is usually an opening melody that is repeated and returned to throughout the track, followed by a soft first verse, maybe a bridge, and a chorus containing the melody. This is repeated until the track fades out with the same chords as the beginning, with a different, perhaps more dramatized, nostalgic-sounding melody. This style is combined with Robinson playing off of the expectations of EDM listeners. He says in the commentary for the song Sad Machine,
I wanted the song to first imply that it won 77 BPM on like a drum and bass song. I wanted people to kind of expect that faster beat. And of course, I take it to halftime. So it's 88.5 BPM. Wanted to make the listener anticipate a drum and bass beat and then have it not actually do that.
Robinson knows what's been done before, and in this instance, he's even using the specific cliche to surprise the audience, not only subverting the genre, but also subverting the listener's expectations throughout the songs. This structure that Robinson has created removes strong elements of cliché EDM, the riser and the build. However, he replaces it with essential music techniques. This creates efficiency in the music. The tension is created towards the end of each verse, removing unnecessary chunks of time dedicated to building tension. When talking about rock music, Brad Osborne says in Subverting the Verse-Chorus Paradigm, terminally climactic forms in recent rock music, artists may experiment with some parameters while leaving other conventions intact. Through traditional... Okay. We can imagine a song that, instead of challenging conventional rock harmonic techniques, subverts traditional verse-chorus forms through experiments with song structure. Robinson does this with EDM. He understands what makes up good music and good EDM, while using certain forms of EDM, the drop, the synthetic instruments, and bringing other forms of music such as bridges and interludes that sometimes take up full tracks. The genre is kept intact, therefore surprising the audience with new twists. Robinson says in his interview,
It turned out all the material that I retained for the final version of the album was stuff that I don't think a lot of DJs ever really want to play.
this is the effect of Porter Robinson defying the genre. Robinson's music has gone against the genre of EDM to the point where people have acknowledged the vastness each structural element has, and now it can cross into even the classical genres. This is further explored by the various covers people have made. Users on YouTube such as Nocturne have uploaded piano covers playing Robinson's songs at a slow tempo, yet retaining the structure of each one. One could say that this is the effect of the cover artist. However, covers have been made of other EDM songs or artists in general, and there is just something different about covers of Robinson songs. They sound natural. There is no obvious sign that each song was not intentionally meant to be played on the piano. Unlike other covers of EDM songs, these have been massively accepted by audiences. This helps to explain World's beauty. Looking back on Fellow Feeling, the reason why the noisy section was so disgusting was that it could not cross genres. There is no other genre that could take the awful beats and gross distorted sounds and naturally convert them. It may be done, however it would not be organic and the listener may sense the oddness. Worlds is a significant work of art. It not only showed what could be done with EDM, but it also explores and explains concepts within each song. Robinson used actual concepts and actual emotion, took concepts that seemed too complex, and managed to weave them into every one of the songs on the album. He took music that was originally thought of as formulaic and pandering, and infused the genre with structural elements that were not yet explored through the lens of EDM. It not only defied the genre, but from that moment forward, Porter Robinson gave artists a new way to express emotion through music. Artists nowadays take these elements and implement it in their work, as to capture some of the emotion Robinson was able to convey through this album. As much as Robinson subverted the genre, he, in a sense, created his own. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked any of the music in this video, it's linked in the description below. I really enjoy making these, so maybe I'll do more. I don't know how to end these. How do I end these?
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.